Captain Matthew Flinders R.N., March 16, 1774, July 19, 1814, was an English navigator and cartographer, who was the leader of the first circumnavigation of Australia and identified it as a continent. Flinders made 3 voyages to the Southern Ocean between 1791 and 1810. In the second voyage, George Bass and Flinders confirmed that Van Diemen's Land, now Tasmania, was an island. In the third voyage, Flinders circumnavigated the mainland of what was to be called Australia, accompanied by Aboriginal men Bungaree. Heading back to England in 1803, Flinders' vessel needed urgent repairs at Isle de France, Mauritius. Although Britain and France were at war, Flinders thought the scientific nature of his work would ensure safe passage, but a suspicious governor kept him under arrest for more than 6 years. In captivity, he recorded details of his voyages for future publication, and put forward his rationale for naming the new continent Australia, as an umbrella term for New Holland and New South Wales, a suggestion taken up later by Governor Macquarie. Flinders' health had suffered, however, and although he reached home in 1810, he did not live to see the publication of his widely praised book and atlas, A Voyage to Terra Australis. Flinders was born in Donington, Lincolnshire, England, the son of Matthew Flinders, a surgeon, and his wife Susanna, née Ward. In his own words, he was induced to go to sea against the wishes of my friends from reading Robinson Crusoe, and in 1789, at the age of 15, he joined the Royal Navy. Initially serving on HMS Alert, he transferred to HMS Scipio, and in July 1790 was made midshipman on HMS Bellerophon under Captain Pasley. By Pasley's recommendation, he joined Captain Bligh's expedition on HMS Providence, transporting breadfruit from Tahiti to Jamaica. This was also Bligh's second breadfruit voyage following on from the ill-fated voyage of the Bounty. Flinders' first voyage to New South Wales, and first trip to Port Jackson, was in 1795 as a midshipman aboard HMS Reliance, carrying the newly appointed Governor of New South Wales Captain John Hunter. On this voyage he quickly established himself as a fine navigator and cartographer, and became friends with the ship's surgeon George Bass, who was 3 years his senior and had been born 11 miles, 18 kilometers, from Donington. Not long after their arrival in Port Jackson, Bass and Flinders made 2 expeditions in small open boats, both named Tom Thumb, the first to Botany Bay and Georges River, the second, in a larger Tom Thumb, south from Port Jackson to Lake Illawarra, during which expedition, they had to seek shelter at Watimla. In 1798, Matthew Flinders, who was now a lieutenant, was given command of the Norfolk and orders to sail beyond Furness's Islands, and, should a strait be found, pass through it, and return by the south end of Van Diemen's Land. The passage between the Australian mainland and Tasmania enabled savings of several days on the journey from England, and was named Bass Strait, after his close friend. In honor of this discovery, the largest island in Bass Strait would later be named Flinders Island. The town of Flinders near the mouth of Western Port also commemorates Bass' discovery of that bay and port on January 4, 1798. Flinders never entered Western Port, and passed Cape Schanck only on May 3, 1802. Flinders once more sailed the Norfolk, this time north on July 17, 1799. He arrived in Moreton Bay between modern-day Redcliffe and Brighton. He touched down at Pumicestone Passage, Redcliffe and Cuchmudlo Island, and also rode ashore at Clontarf. During this visit he named Redcliffe after the Red Cliffs. In March 1800, Flinders rejoined the Reliance and set sail for England. Death, on July 19, 1814, The day after the book and atlas was published, Matthew Flinders died, aged 40. Flinders was buried at St. James, Hampstead Road, though the grave has since been lost due to alterations to the churchyard. The gravesite is thought to lie under what is now Platform 15 at Euston Station, and in early 2014 concerns were expressed that proposed new works might disturb the site.